All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video. And today, yes, we are going to be talking about a new unlock solution for late model BMW DMEs. I know you guys have been let down by these announcements in the past, and I'm hoping that this video will give you a little bit more clarity on how the unlock works, what the process is. We'll even talk about cost a little bit, and hopefully just give you a little more detail in case this is something that you're interested in looking into, because it seems like something that's very viable and probably can give some of you a solution that you haven't found available yet. So let's go ahead and talk about it, and hopefully you guys find this video useful.
Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future.
So this new unlock solution comes from a company called AutoTuner, and the good news is they are very well known in the tuning space. Some of you probably haven't heard of them, but I can pretty much guarantee you that your tuner is very familiar with their work. They produce hardware as well as software tuning solutions for a wide range of ECUs and DMEs across multiple different OEMs and platforms. So all of that to say, this is a company that you can trust. It's not just some fly-by-night solution that popped up. It is somebody that you know gives good quality products. The other good news is that this does work for all DMEs, including after the 2020 cutoff for Gen 2 B58s, S58s, pretty much all of the people that had software that could only be unlocked by FEM2 is now able to be unlocked through this solution. Now, the asterisk here is it does not work with DME 9. So if you have a Gen 3 B58, you're still not going to be able to unlock your DME and tune your car. This only works for Gen 2 B58 and S58 vehicles after that June 2020 cutoff. The unlock solution is kind of labor intensive. It is kind of expensive. It does require some proprietary hardware in order to do it. And it also is something where you still have to ship your DME out. So let's go ahead and look at the process here. The first thing is, in order to do this, you need an AutoTuner tool that is around 4,900 euros. So it is a pretty expensive tool and something that their service providers and people that they've already authorized to use their equipment should have, but probably not something that you want to just buy on your own. So just keep that in mind. This is the tool that's used to actually bench unlock the DME in order for you to tune it for various tuning suites. So once you've verified that you have somebody with access to the tool, you need to use the tool to verify that your DME is eligible for this unlock software. So what they're going to do is basically connect it to your DME and test it to verify that based on the software on your DME, it can be supported, and that will confirm that the AutoTuner unlock will work for you. So now is the time where you need to actually prepare your DME, and this is where I said it's a little bit labor intensive because AutoTuner will not unlock a DME unless you actually open the casing first. They do have a DIY video on their website as well as YouTube that shows you exactly how to do this. And you can see, again, this isn't just a walk in the park. This is something that requires some attention and a sensitive hand to make sure that you don't mess up anything. So you can see the first step is to heat up the DME. So they're actually putting the casing into an oven so that it can warm up the whole thing. And that just makes it easier to actually open it up. The other option that they show in the video is that you can use a heat gun around the perimeter and basically where the sealant is to try to soften it up. But that's not necessarily the easiest path. It seems like the most reliable or consistent solution to give you good results is to just drop the whole thing in the oven and heat it up for a couple minutes. Then once you've heated it up, it's time to actually open up the DME. So you're going to pry it open. Keep in mind, they sell all of the tools and equipment that allow you to get this done. So if you want to use their tools, you can buy theirs, but this is something that you can probably find at any hardware store. You want a really broad prying tool so that you reduce the chance of flexing or breaking the casing too much. You want it basically to try to open like a clamshell. So open as flat as possible without having too much twist or bending on the casing itself. Then once you've opened up the casing, you still actually need to pry the PCB off of the casing. So there are two halves of the casing and you want the PCB to be separated from both halves. So again, you can heat it up a little bit locally in areas where there's extra glue as needed, and then begin prying that off so that you can separate the PCB board from the casing itself. And then at that point, you can pretty much just remarry everything for shipping. So in their video, they just kind of tape it all back together so that it's not flopping around, but the tape isn't necessary. As long as it's packaged really well so that it holds it all together, you should be okay. So yeah, again, they just kind of highlight on their website, unless the DME is already opened, they will not do the unlock process. So they don't want to own that step of the process. They want you to provide it to them ready for their solution. So it's something where I think most people are getting hung up on. If you have a tuner or a shop local to you that feels comfortable doing this, maybe you can pay them for the service of opening up the DME and shipping it for you. But otherwise, if you want to do it yourself, you can kind of follow the guide and hopefully have good luck with that. Now, once you've done that, you're going to ship your entire DME assembly over to AutoTuner. So couple things critical here. One, of course, is make sure you're packaging it very well. You might even consider using their casing that they have. It's a really big case with some soft pack inside that will help ensure that the DME doesn't get damaged in international shipping. Or if you're shipping it yourself, just make sure you know it's packaged very well, nothing that will get too banged up while they're throwing it onto airplanes and things like that. They are in Luxembourg as far as I can tell, so depending on where you are, again, it's going to be international shipping, but the cost of the unlock is only 250 euros, so not as bad as some of the other unlock solutions, but again, you do still have to ship it out. Then AutoTuner says once they receive it, they're usually able to unlock it in the same day, so it's a relatively quick process, and then they'll ship it back to you. So at that point, it's really just the downtime of waiting for it to get there and come back. As long as, you know, DHL is quick, then you'll get it quick, but really they're just kind of at the mercy of the logistics. So it is what it is. It should hopefully just take a couple days depending on your location. Now, they did mention here also that when you get it back, it will have the stock tune. So if you had any tuning or coding or anything done previously to the DME, that will all be wiped. It'll be back to factory settings. So you'll need to reflash anything onto the DME. And then, yeah, once you get it back, it's really just about resealing the DME. So they do sell the sealant in case you need it. You're going to run a bead around the same factory locations where it was before, and then hold the DME back together so that it can dry, and then put the screws back in. Now, if there are issues with your package, if it gets lost or anything like that, they do mention that they are insuring it, so you will be able to get the full cost of your DME back, but then you'll have to buy another one and kind of go through that whole process as well. So risk of more downtime is there, lower risk of actually having an issue where, you know, you just lose your DME and you're out the money. But the good news is if you do ever get any software updates from the dealer or anything like that, you still can just bench unlock it again. So the remote unlock solution is permanent, and at most you will only need a local bench unlock to get you back going. Now, the last little asterisk here is OBD Flashing is available with this tool, but they do sell their own OBD flasher. They mention that they can't confirm or 100% guarantee that you will be able to flash software with other off-the-shelf flashers. Things like the MHD universal adapter, the boot mode adapter, stuff like that may or may not work. I'm waiting on confirmation for that. So hopefully we get more news in the future. If people try this and kind of share their experience, we can find out what the full capability is. But otherwise, they're basically recommending that you buy their AutoTuner 1. It's their OBD flashing adapter, and that will allow you to do all of the flashing you need. So where do we actually land here? And I think the big thing I've taken away from tuners that have given me their feedback is this works with EcuTech. So all of the femto unlocks only work with advanced features for MHD and boot mode. But if you want EcuTech to work with flex fuel and reflex control and things like that, that's not possible with a femto unlock. If you use this method, then you can use EcuTech with all the advanced features. So if you're really married to the EcuTech program, maybe your tuner really prefers it, this is an option that finally brings that capability to you. The other thing is it seems like you don't have to send anything back if you have a software update. So if that's a big risk that you're concerned with, this will allow you to have one where you only need a bench unlock after the initial one. So that also reduces the chance of you having to ship it back for any reason. It seems like this is just kind of a one and done thing. So if that's another risk you're concerned about, you don't want to have to keep sending your DME back to Fem2 every time new features come out or every time you potentially get a software update by mistake, this gets rid of that risk. But yeah, again, I think most people are kind of turned off by needing to open the DME and the chance that you are only able to flash tunes or work with their software and their hardware after you receive it back. is something that I'm still waiting on confirmation on as well. It seems like that's probably not the case, but that's the only thing that they can guarantee, obviously because they sell it, but also because that's what they've tested. So yeah, we'll see as more comes out there. I try to get these videos out to you as soon as the information's available, but like most things, we want to wait for more people to get their hands on it, try it out, give feedback. So we'll just kind of keep a pulse on the community and see how this goes moving forward. But this is just your FYI that it's available, and if this does give you a solution for something that you were really prioritizing, now you can definitely check it out for yourself. So that's all we have for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.